Hi there, it is Friday, and so that means that your next module is up and ready to go. And so the way that you can get to the module from the home page is either by clicking the module tab over on the left, or the current module button over here, and that will take you to this week's module. But let me remind you, please complete the syllabus quiz. The due date is today, and remember, this is the assignment that I use to tell me who is who has shown up for the class. So it's really important that you complete it. I'm not going to drop you if you don't finish it by tonight, but I will be sending you emails asking you if you are in the class or not. So please do that by tonight. Okay, and so looking at the assignments for this week, you can see that there are 7 of them. So let's go ahead and just get right into it. The first one is a quiz, and so I've got a video and a excerpt from an ebook. The quiz is actually based on the questions from the ebook, so you're going to want to have that in front of you while you're taking the quiz questions. You get 3 chances on the quiz, so make sure that you have the ebook open in front of you while you're doing the quiz. Okay, the next thing is a summary of a language disorder called aphasia, and there are different types of aphasia, but 2 main kinds. This is really important because it shows us how the brain processes language in different parts of the brain. And so we've got some short videos, and then a web article, and then you're going to want to check out these videos here, the last 2 videos, because these are 2 older gentlemen who have suffered from strokes, and they are typical sufferers of these 2 kinds of aphasia. And I want you to watch each one after you've read a little bit about the types of aphasia, and you can see the difference in the way that they speak, and so you can see the types of aphasia. And so this is really going to help you when you answer your the questions here. So what you're doing is just writing a little bit about each type of aphasia, kind of comparing and contrasting. Okay, the timeline, what you're doing here is you are using these 5 stages, and do use these terms for the 5 different stages. Some of the sources that I'm giving you have slightly different terms. They break them down slightly differently, but use these 5. And I've got a couple different articles here. I want to make sure that you use that you include phonology, morphology, and syntax whenever they apply. So when we're talking about, really young infants, they're not going to have syntax in their language, right? But all of the different stages are going to have different phonological features, for example. So you're going to read through these different sources, and you're going to include the different features of phonology, morphology, and syntax in the 5 different stages. Now, the way that you are going to structure this, it's totally up to you. You can do it however is easiest for you. I know some people are really creative, and you might want to make like a PowerPoint or something that's real, interactive, or some people like to draw things, like draw on a piece of paper by hand, and then you can take a picture of that. Or if you're just, don't like to do things like that, you could just make like a Word document and just make like a bulleted list. That's probably what I would do. I'm not really creative like that. So however you want to do it, whatever's easier for you. Okay, just make sure that you get the information down. What I do not want is paragraph, essay, like sentences written out. I don't want that. Okay, I just want the information like graphic, like, yeah, okay. Oh, and then a little video right here, a little cute baby video. Okie dokie. And then for our discussion for this week, just one discussion, this is about the theories of language, first language acquisition. So there are some different theories out there, and, you know, honestly, it's probably some kind of combination of, you know, two or more of these theories. But what I want you to do is read through the theories and decide, you know, this is your opinion, there's no right or wrong answer here, but decide which one you think is primarily responsible for first language acquisition, how humans primarily acquire their first language. Okay, so you got to pick one. Okay, there's no cheating and saying it's like more than one or it's all of them. Okay, you have to pick one. And then there's a little video here that goes into some more detail. So you're going to pick one, and then you're going to describe it and explain why, and then you're going to reply to some two classmates. You can pick people that you agree with or that you disagree with, and let's see if we can get a good, you know, kind of debate or conversation going. Okay, and then the next one is about motherese or child-directed speech, child-directed language, infant-directed language, infant-directed speech. This is about the language or type of language that the caretakers or the parents use to young children at different stages. So there's a video here and then a couple articles that you can check out, and I've got some questions for you about that. Okay. Then we get into our case study that I talked about on the home page. So this is has to do with this case of this girl named Jeannie Wiley. She was discovered in the 1970s, and some of you may have come across her in a psychology class or child development class before. She's very famous. She was deprived of language until about the age of 13. So she is talked a lot about in linguistics classes because of the nature of her case and what it says about language development in the brain and language processing. Okay, you know, we can't take, you know, human beings, children, and purposefully deprive them of language. So when there's a case like this where, you know, there's been like some horrible abuse, neglect, linguists, psychologists, they want to study these kids. And so, you know, cases like her, they're just really, really famous. Okay, so it's very sad though. So you can read all about it. I do have a documentary about her. It's really, really good. It's really, really interesting. It's about an hour long. If you do have the time, I really recommend watching it. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but I would really encourage you to find a spot in it where you can hear her talking. Her speech is very unusual. It's not like anything that you have ever heard. It's not like a deaf person or a person with any kind of speech impediment that you really have ever heard. It's just really, really unusual. So, but again, if you start watching this, you're probably going to want to watch the whole thing. So give yourself enough time. And then although it is dated, it's a little old, but it's very, very interesting. Okay, then there's an article about the critical period hypothesis, and basically this is not, there's no right or wrong answer to this. So some people say that she proves the critical period hypothesis, and some people say that she disproves it. So what I'm asking you is, what do you think? Okay, so you read all about her case and all the facts about her, and then I want to know, once you understand what the critical period hypothesis, critical period theory is, what do you think? Okay, and then the last one is our first lesson plan. So we're going to be writing a few lesson plans this summer. This is going to be our very first one. Now, I know some of you have written lesson plans in the past. I know some of you are working in classrooms right now. Some of you have never written a lesson plan, and so I know that this seems a little bit, intimidating. So we're just kind of getting our feet wet with this one. It's a little unusual, though, to just write a lesson plan for one student. Usually you're writing it for a whole class, and then usually you would take that lesson plan and then you would teach with it. But for this case, we're not doing that. We're just kind of practicing. And so, and I'm going to look at them and I'm going to give you some feedback on them. Some of the other lesson plans that we're going to be writing, we're going to be sharing them in our discussion boards, but not for this one. I'm only going to see this. So I'm giving you the standard, okay? It is a listening speaking standard, so you're just going to use this. You already have that part of it. You're just going to copy and paste that into the standard area of the template, and then you're going to write the objectives, the materials, instructional strategy. You need some kind of an assessment. So how are you going to, test her or figure out if she learned or not? There is a reflection spot in that, and you don't need to do that. So I'll give you some tips, some information here. I do have a video here. It kind of walks you through it. If you are stuck at this or you're confused at all, please reach out to me. You can send me a draft ahead of time. Just try your best. And again, I'm the only one that's going to see this. And if you just completely screw this up, and it's really, really terrible, I'll give you another chance to do it. So don't stress out too much on this, okay? Like I said, we're going to be writing a few lesson plans this summer, and so this is just kind of like a practice one, and then for our next couple ones, I know they're going to get better and better, okay? So yeah, don't stress out too much on this one. All right, and so then that takes us to the end. So let me know if you have any questions about anything, and I'll be around this week to answer your questions. Reach out to me for questions about any of your assignments. Okay, we're getting into it with the real interesting stuff this week. So I'll be around, and I will be talking to you later. Okay, bye-bye.